Hello, this is Mrs. Worrell, and I'm going to go over how to use the tools in GeoGebra to complete the assignment for the Unit 1 test Part 2. These instructions can also be found in the GeoGebra instructions that were provided with the assignment, but some students are still struggling, so I thought a quick video would help. So the first thing we want to do is when you log in, I wanted to show you something is optional, but some students did it and it was very helpful. So if you didn't do this, that's fine. If you're going to redo it or make corrections, you might want to do this. And that is if you hit View and hit Algebra, it was going to give a little window here, and you'll see that as you start creating things, it will show you the labels and the length and the measures. So it could be helpful. The other thing is you don't have to have the grid on, but if you want it on, this is how you click it on, under Graphics. Okay? All right, so the first thing you're asked to do is create 2 points. So to create a point, the first tool over here is your selection tool. So to select something, to delete it, or to move it, you use the arrow. The second one is the point tool. So if you click on point, and then you can click anywhere you want on the screen, 2 different places. Now mine, they were automatically labeled. If yours is not doing that, what you could do is go under Options, Labeling Automatic. And if you've already started, you could just hit all new objects, and then everything else that you create after this will be automatically labeled. Okay? Okay. So the next thing you're asked is to create a segment. So the third little square over here is what we call our line tool. Right now it would create a line, but if you hit the down arrow, you can pick a segment with a given length, or array. So you can create a line, segment with a given length, or array. So we're going to select segment. And then you click the 2 endpoints, and there you got a segment. So this segment AB happens to be labeled as segment F, and it has a measure of 3.85 units. The next thing you're asked to do is to create a perpendicular bisector. And a lot of students are just trying to draw a line perpendicular to that manually, trying to make sure it looks like it's creating right 90-degree angles, and they're trying to place it somewhere in the middle. And sometimes students are doing that because they're using the grid here. So they'll make it 0 to 6, and then they know the midpoint is 3. What I'm asking you to do is to go to the next tool over, the fourth little box. It is defaulted to a perpendicular line, but again, if you hit the down arrow, there's a choice for a perpendicular bisector. If you click that and then click the 2 endpoints, A and B, it will automatically create the perpendicular bisector for you. So line G is a perpendicular bisector to segment AB. The next thing it asks you to do is to put a point C somewhere on the perpendicular bisector. Please do not put it down here on segment AB. Put it anywhere else on the perpendicular bisector, but not on segment AB. Because this last thing they want you to do is to create a parallel line to segment AB through point C. So what you want to do is go back to that fourth icon over where you just used it to create a perpendicular bisector, click the down arrow, hit parallel, and again you're going to click the line. When it's highlighted, then you know it's clicked. So segment AF, and then click point C, and it will put your parallel line through point C, but it's parallel to the segment that you selected, which was AB. And that is part A. You'll take a picture of it and put it in the PowerPoint document. The next part, you can create a brand new one if you want. I'm just going to move over to a little bit blank screen on the coordinate plane. And the next one is to make a 90-degree angle. And what you have to do first, and if you look at the instructions in the GeoGebra handout instructions, it says make 2 points first. So I made 2 points. Then you're going to go all the way over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th. The 8th one that shows an angle with a little alpha indicator. That's our angle. And we're going to say create angle, but with a given size. So when you click that, it's not popping up. Okay, so when you click angle with given size, click on the 2 points you already created, and you'll get a pop-up screen that tells you what measure, and you're going to put 90 degrees for a right angle. When you click OK, it created a third point for you. Okay, and it shows that you created a 90-degree angle here, and see it's in green. It says alpha equals 90 degrees. So that's how I'll know if you use the tool which I want you to use. I don't want you trying to create your own 90-degree angle by making a vertical and a horizontal line somewhere on the grid. I want you to use the tool. Now there's no sides to this angle, so it doesn't specify, so you can create lines, rays, or segments. I'm going to choose the ray, and then I'm going to click on the vertex and this point on this side, and the vertex and this point on this side. Now you notice my angle is named DED prime, so you need to rename it to whatever it's supposed to be named, and I think it might be GHJ, I'm not sure. For the project. So now I have a 90-degree angle named GHJ. So then again, they want you to make an angle bisector, and some students are trying to create a segment or line and drawing it manually, trying to make it bisect this 90-degree angle. But there is a tool for that. And again, it's 1, 2, 3, fourth one, the one you use for the perpendicular bisector and the parallel line. If you click down, there's angle bisector. When you click that tool, you click on all 3 points that make up the angle, and there you got your angle bisector. The next thing they ask you to do is create a point R on the angle bisector. So anywhere you want on that angle bisector. Okay, now if your angle bisector happens to be a horizontal line, it's going to be a little goofy, but I'm going to show you what to do anyway. So once you have that R, they want you to create a segment that's 5 units. So again, a lot of students are trying to draw it using the grid to be 5 units. And if they do it and they do it correctly and it's listed over here as a segment that is 5 units, I'll accept it. But if I can't see its measure, I can't assume you did it correctly. So what you should do is come over here to that line tool where we just did the ray. Okay, I did a ray, you might have done a segment or a line, and come down to segment with a given length. If you want one end point to be R, click on the R, and then you're going to have a pop-up screen. You put 5 in there, and it's going to create the segment for you. Now, we want it to be RP, so you'll rename the D as P. There you go. Now, it doesn't show the value, but I want you to show me the value. So if you have the algebra on here, I'll see that line L is 5 units, and that will be okay. Or you can click on the segment, object properties, and then see how it says show label? If you hit the down arrow, name and value, it will show me that that is 5 units. Now, again, if your angle bisector happens to be horizontal or vertical, then it's going to put that point somewhere on the angle bisector. That's okay, as long as I can see that RP is 5 units, either by showing the algebra or showing the value of that segment. And that's it. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you've already submitted it, but you want to resubmit it, even though it hasn't been graded, that will be fine. If I graded it and you want to make corrections, you could also resubmit it.